Hello there, and welcome to episode 60 of CUZZO-OP. I am one of the hosts here, Arrow, aka Willie. And as usual, we got the other host here at CUZZO-OP.
IV, what's good? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of CUZZO-OP, baby.
Episode 60, bro.
60, baby.
That's 10 6 times. Remember we used to celebrate those?
That's 10 6 times, yo. That's 23, like 23 times. Like, stop. We outside. We're outside. How many podcasts you listen to got 60 episodes nonstop for a year and a half?
Almost nonstop.
Almost nonstop.
So yeah, we took a little bit of a week break. A lot of things going on in the personal, and now we're back. We're back with an episode dedicated to a franchise that I know I love and enjoy, and I know IV has found some enjoyment in it. We've discussed it in the past. He's actually really excited about the thumbnail for this one for the most part, I believe.
I am excited about the thumbnail. It's not that I'm not excited about the show. You know what I mean? It's just, I think this is definitely an emotional one for Arrow. 100%.
Absolutely. Definitely tied down. And, this was a much later planned episode, right? We were probably going to drop this before the new show dropped later this fall, but the world does the things that the world does. And, Akira Toriyama passed away earlier this year.
All right,
and
man.
Today, the date of this drop is his birthday. So we wanted to celebrate Akira Toriyama by releasing our Dragon Ball franchise episode ahead of the new show dropping later this fall. So that's why we're here today. Why random day in April? That's why. So I just want to start off with our relationship to Dragon Ball here, because I feel like a lot of people know Dragon Ball in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And even if you don't know it's Dragon Ball, you've been touched by it in some way, shape, or form. So let me hear how your experience has been, what it is, so that people know how you're diving into this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's good for me to go first because, like I said, I think it's different. But for me, Dragon Ball has always existed in the realm of, we had an episode last year with Evan where we talked about anime, and when we talked about Dragon Ball, we talked about the fact that, seeing Dragon Ball on the shelves where we used to cop action figures pop up, was a thing that was special. And it's because a lot of my relationship with Dragon Ball felt very niche at the time when I enjoyed it. It was seeing a couple of episodes on stuff like Toonami. But then on top of that, the video games, man. The video games were really my major connection to this franchise, to this storyline. Everyone knows that opening story, Goku getting blasted to hell in the beginning of the storyline, you know what I mean? And I think I've seen that through video game iteration time and time again, whether it be, something like a third person video game like Budokai or Tenkaichi or even Sagas, like those PlayStation 2 specials, but then also the Game Boy Advance versions. You remember those Game Boy Advance over-the-top games? Very much love those games and fell in love with these characters through all that. So I don't have like distinct memories of like, man, I sat and watched this whole series from front to back, but I have pockets of storylines that I know I've consumed at different times. Like everyone knows how Dragon Ball Z has made its way into our lingo, from a Kamehameha to a Fusion Ha, the dance. Like it's just something that's massively understood. Okay, Dragon Ball Z was a part of our childhood in some way, shape, or form. So that's the relationship I definitely have with it. But I'll pass it back over to you.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, it was some of my earliest watching TV memories, whether it be from Dragon Ball Kai on Nickelodeon, or I had the orange book set years ago, watching it off of the old DVD players that you'd press the thing and it'd flop open, and it was such a tiny screen. The box set, watching it off of those, and I only had certain episodes at times, and I just rewatch them at a friend's house overnight. But it was always there. My friends were always about it, no matter elementary, middle school, high school. Now I'm still meeting new people where they're like, yo, that Dragon Ball Z. And then we just get to have these fun conversations all over again. Big Dragon Ball Z fan. I got a gift from Ted. Shout outs to Ted of the 7 Dragon Balls. It's over on my dresser. I got Funkos. I've actually had to limit myself on the Funkos from Dragon Ball because a lot of them are so good that I stated I'm only allowed to have the Super Saiyans. If they're not a Super Saiyan, I'm not allowed to own them. So Goku eating pasta, I can't have. He's not Super Saiyan. Trunks is the only exception. I'm trying to get every Trunks that I can because Trunks is my go. But yeah, bro, I love Dragon Ball. You know, it's down times when nothing new comes out. But luckily, we haven't had to worry about that for some time. And then we did, and then we didn't, and then we did, and then we didn't. And it's a lovely cycle. Starting back in 1984. I believe, with the original Dragon Ball show, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
This has had this much time to just fade from existence, and it hasn't, right? But you know, they talk about the big 3 of anime. People, where's Dragon Ball? Why isn't Dragon Ball in the big 3? That's because the big 3, they're up there, and then Dragon Ball's on top. When Akira Toriyama passed away, and I'm not trying to turn this into an anime war, I'm just saying it how it is.
Nah, you're just saying it straight.
The creators of the big 3 both said, our shows don't exist without Dragon Ball, which is Dragon Ball's the grandfather. You know, he's the grandfather of anime. Akira Toriyama created something, and it's managed to stay relevant for 40 years, not only in anime community, rap community, sports community.
That's fact. Yo, no, you know what's funny? You said the rap community. The other day, I was listening to one of my favorites in the battle rap scene. He was going off on somebody mid-verse, and he was telling a story about how dude was wilding out, like people don't carry weapons in their vehicles. And he was like, you don't know that these dudes be in the whip carrying the heaters? What you finna do if those trunks pop? Vegeta. And the whole room was like, that was hard. Because everyone knows who Vegeta is. And everyone knows Dragon Ball. Whether you from the hood or you super duper 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 suburban. Like super duper, like rural. Like, you know Dragon Ball. That's crazy. To be cross-cultural, to be socioeconomics, to generational. It's just
South America, bro. They be on Dragon Ball like this, bro. Like,
it's fire. It's fire.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's fire.
Which is why his passing was felt so heavy amongst everywhere. Which is why we're here to talk about it in whatever capacity we are able to.
Yeah.
So I want to hop right into Dragon Ball.
Sure.
And now the reason why I want to start here is because it's like the forgotten little brother. Or older brother, I guess you could say. But I say little brother because it's a smaller scale show than the shows that followed. To the point where people don't even know that this show exists sometimes.
I think that's kind of crazy.
Dragon Ball Z started at Dragon Ball Z. That's what people have in their mind. They don't know the story about Kid Goku and his friends searching for the Dragon Balls. They don't know that the Dragon Ball Z Saiyan saga was supposed to be the cap, that the Super Saiyan was supposed to be the finale. That's why, you know, it came so much later. Like Dragon Ball, Goku, 12-year-old boy, little adventure, little wholesome little dude, bro. Just doing his thing. No aliens, right? Yeah, he had his tail. He turned into a big ape, but there was no Super Saiyan, no Gohan versus Cell, no Majin Buu. None of the things that have made this show as popular as it is here. No, this was just a regular old thing.
Yeah.
Have you watched this show? Have you seen clips and bits of its show? Like, how you feeling with this?
Like you're saying, I think the exposure to Dragon Ball Z is definitely the first I had in terms of knowing of Dragon Ball. But Toonami and other spots would air episodes of Dragon Ball after it began to become a phenomenon. And that's when I would see these episodes. Didn't have as much of an emotional connection to them. As well as I feel like there weren't a lot of video game iterations of this particular storyline either. It wasn't like it was the forefront video game. They'll have like Easter eggs or characters you can play in other Dragon Ball Z kind of base games that nod their head or tip their hat to Dragon Ball. But the idea of the Nimbus Cloud and him journeying around the world and his just his energy and his hopefulness and his strength and the consistency in that character development for him as a character, for Goku as the strongest man alive, strongest guy alive, right? It's cool to see the beginning stories of that, the beginning of some of his gang and that. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's weird that not a lot of people know that exists. I actually didn't know that. I thought everybody knew that. That's like, it's not even like prequel. It's like this is where the story starts,
right?
Yeah,
no,
like,
no, that's it's so many people's case that Dragon Ball Z is the first. So the manga for Dragon Ball began in 1984, where the anime began in 1986, right? And so 153 episodes. As someone who's watched it all, I've seen this franchise multiple times by myself with friends, sitting down to watch all 800 plus episodes, like not skipping a single one. It's a challenge. Dragon Ball is a challenge, especially. There's but the way these shows work is they go by arcs, right? And so I'm going to take this conversation into that a little bit because some arcs make or break a show, right? And there's one arc here, bro, that hurt so much. A lot of the Red Ribbon arc. Red Ribbon, something that comes up later, but people don't understand the origin of it. It's kind of crazy, right? The Commander Black arc was so much of a drag that if people are watching Dragon Ball and they get here and they want to stop, I understand. I get it. But keep it going because I feel like there's purpose. There's always purpose. Sometimes it drags, but that's the point of this type of manga style. It's a journey. It's always about the journey, right?
Right.
But I think there's a lot to love about Dragon Ball specifically. You get to see Goku's roots because Goku is one of the most popular characters of all time, I feel at this point, right?
Absolutely.
You get to see where this boy became, like how he became who he is, the man that he became, right? Because in so many pieces of media as well as real life, sweet little boys turn out to be so different, right? They turn out to be much different when they come older.
Yeah.
We get to see a sweet little boy grow up into a sweet man.
Yeah.
Sometimes stupid, maybe, but that's not his fault.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he represents good. We'll get to that for Dragon Ball Z because
he got purity on him. He got purity on him.
Exactly. To the point where, because animes, they be getting a little bit weird sometimes. We know that they be getting into some weirdness and they be showing some weird stuff, spanking on some areas and showcasing some things. But none of the anime stuff that represents the weirdness of anime, Goku never had any of that. Yeah, he was spanking up on people, but that's not because he was impure. He was just
saying spanking up is wild.
He was spanking up, bro. What do you want me to say, bro? He was hitting people in their private parts.
Yeah, it's facts.
And doing things like that, but he was innocent. He wasn't doing it maliciously. He wasn't doing it because he was feeling a little bit of something. He was just like, yo, I just laid my head down on your lap and I'm not feeling something poking back at me. What do you have down there? Smack, smack. Oh, okay. He's just a stupid, innocent little boy, bro. My whole purpose being follow this character and you'll see that his beginnings, it makes sense, the route that he goes.
Yeah.
His little cast of characters that follow him in this show, they're cool. They're the gang, Yamcha, right? That's who you were?
That's gang, bro. Stop it. Stop.
I respect Yamcha on some levels. But
he mid. Dragon Ball, we all know he mid. It's okay.
He's one of the strongest Earthlings.
Yeah, but he's mid though. In the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of the entire array of characters we are exposed to and the power levels and the things they do and the way they do it and the why they do it, all of that. Back to Goku, the GOAT. Let's get back to it.
He like you said, he's the GOAT. And Dragon Ball is just a humble beginning story that is more of a martial arts show that if you are only tapping in to watch because you love Dragon Ball Z, you might have a little bit of a whiplash. Not crazy space battles. There's martial art tournament battles with some demons named after instruments, which is kind of funny. Piccolo, drum. The naming of these shows we're going to have to get into talking about because there's a lot of funny shit that happens. But if you start Dragon Ball first, just know you're starting at the start. But if you go and watch Z and then come back, that's also something people do. I've done that. That's how I entered my journey.
Sure.
That's also can't be blamed. It's easier for you to follow the characters on Dragon Ball when you know what their end is, versus trying to stick through it. Dragon Ball Z, bro.
Everybody knows about some Dragon Ball Z, baby. Which arc are we going to talk about? You know what I mean? Are we going to start with the introduction of Vegeta, the concept of Saiyan, the idea of this man Goku really being the GO Kakarot? You know what I mean? And it being made very clear right from the beginning in that. Or are we gonna jump over to some more of? So we could do a lot, bro. We got the Frieza, we got the Cell, we got the Boo. Like, it's crazy. These characters are all ingrained in my head, and it's wild because I don't know how they got there. That's what's wild about Dragon Ball. It's like I know these characters exist, but I don't have clear memories of like the actions, you know. And it's like I can remember the next time on Dragon Ball Z, but I don't remember what was next time or what was before time. I just remember like certain fight scenes and the fact that these arcs were crazy and that these arcs involved. This is where the story it expands in a meaningful way to the characters around Goku. You know what I mean? And that's what I also love about Dragon Ball Z. Like, obviously Goku's at the core of it all. He's the guy. He's the GOAT. But dude, Vegeta, Trunks, Krillin, bro, they really start giving these storylines off, and the writing, Toriyama starts getting stupid with the writing on these guys. For real.
So, I mean, first things first, there's a lot about Dragon Ball that gets forgotten from this point forward, and that's because Akira Toriyama has admittedly stated, yo, I just forgot. I forgot about Launch from Dragon Ball. I forgot about a whole character. She just doesn't come back. Great. I forgot from the start of Dragon Ball Z to the end of Dragon Ball Z, I forgot that Saiyans have tails, which is why Trunks and Goten grow up without no tails. I forgot they had them.
That's crazy.
And it's just so fun because it's part of the human aspect of making film and television that we've lost. We've lost the fact that humans can make mistakes because now everything needs to be perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
I love stuff like this. I love that he's just able to come out and say, yo, I forgot. Straight up. That character, forgot about him. It makes the show feel more human, right? Dragon Ball Z, Goku and his origins after 153 episodes, after years of manga, finally getting an explanation. Where is this kid? Why is he the way he is? Where did he come from? The Saiyan arc. Killing Goku, where we know, yeah, people have died. Grandpa Gohan, Krillin has died at this point already. Chaozu has died in this point already. Let's take a trip to the other world and let's see what that's about. While our villain from the last show takes control of Goku's kid and has an arc about turning his way of life around because of this kid, Gohan. The two main characters of the show, arguably, are Goku and Gohan.
And Gohan the GOAT. I mean, Goku the GOAT, but we all, come on, baby. Psst. That whole storyline too, right? Like, of like being the strongest, having a level of strength that is just like inherited in a sense, and then just deciding, nah.
That's not you.
Nah.
Right.
That's crazy. Such
concepts here, bro. Yeah. Goku in himself is a concept of just liking what he's doing and continuing to do it, and people hating you for it. I love characters that are like that, and I also love the characters that hate them because of it.
Yeah.
Vegeta, he can't stand that Goku is just naturally gifted, and he seems to take advantage of it. Not take advantage, but just, he doesn't care that he's the strongest sometimes. Sometimes he's just like, yeah, I could do that. And Vegeta's like, I hate that you didn't work for that. So Vegeta goes and tries to make himself work better. I love characters like that. That's why I love Rafe from, Uncharted.
Uncharted 3.
So
4. Sorry.
4, yeah. Yeah, bro. Vegeta, his character being, I need to be stronger than you. Piccolo going from I want to take over the world to becoming one of its guardians, and believing in the little boy that changed his life, and being Gohan's babysitter. People say that he's a better father than Goku and that Goku's a bad dad. I disagree. Goku's a great dad. He doesn't know how to father fully, but Goku's a dad. He's a good dad. Better to Gohan than Goten.
Your kid's raised by your tribe, bro. Let's be realistic. You're there for the moments that are important, but it's tribe shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And bro, I also think it's worth saying here, dude, it's crazy. Like, if you're listening to this and you've watched some Dragon Ball Z in your childhood, try to remember some of the special moves these dudes was doing, what they were called. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. You remember the special beam cannon? That's kind of crazy, right? The final, you remember that? That's kind of crazy, right? The destructo disc, that's kind of crazy how it just pops into it. Bro, what other show does that to you, bro? We've been talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender over here a couple times this year, here in 2024 at CUZZO-OP. And that show is highly impressionable, but even then, it's earth, fire, air, water. Like, it's simple elements you see elsewhere. We're talking about Kamehameha, bro. That joint is ingrained in dudes' domes.
Right.
We're talking about, I grew up watching YouTube videos from this Dragon Ball Z era of TV. Dudes yelling in the camera trying to go Super Saiyan. Everyone's
like
seen
Jalen?
that video. Yeah.
My name is Jalen and I am a Super Saiyan.
He was going. Bro, I remember being summer 2016, going to summer camp Salvation Army with you and saying I felt like I was in a hyperbolic time chamber. And it's like, that's verbiage that just comes to my mind without connection to where it comes from. It's just slipped in there because it's that impressionable. The Dragon Ball Z era is just something that needs to be studied and documented. I don't even know how there isn't a documentary out about the impact of this. It should be something that happens. Hopefully, it would suck if death had to be the thing that causes it to happen. But with Toriyama now, not with us, somebody needs to hop on this, bro. Please, because that Dragon Ball Z, sheesh, dude. Sheesh, bro. What's your favorite arc though? Like,
so my favorite arc is the Android / Cell arc. And I'll get to that. Right?
Yeah, why? I want to understand why.
So first, I actually want to bring up the fact that the Saiyan arc, which starts the show, one of the 4 major arcs, I'm going to call it. I know there's 9 seasons and they can break it up into 9 different arcs with like the Raditz and then the Vegeta. I'm going 4. The Saiyan arc that starts Dragon Ball Z, introduces you to the concept of a bigger world and starts to give these characters their big sense of purpose and personality. Gohan, the kid that's taken into this, even though he doesn't want to be, but he has to because he just can. He has the power. So there might be some responsibility there. Vegeta, the foil to Goku, just the good guy, Piccolo and his turning. But the introduction to the grander world leading into the Frieza arc, the Namek saga, with the Ginyu Force and all of that, the goofiness of the Ginyu Force, but this evil emperor that then makes Vegeta's character have purpose.
Yeah.
Because then you find out there's a connection between him and Goku in the sense of their Saiyan heritage was brought down by Frieza. And now they're going at him together. And it brings out the ultimate warrior inside of Goku, and it gives you even more perspective of how Goku takes honor when Vegeta dies because he's killed by Frieza, and Goku takes time before fighting Frieza to bury this man who was trying to kill his kid a month ago.
Yeah.
Because he sees that Vegeta is just this hurt warrior. His pride is hurt. Vegeta's pride. We all know about Vegeta's pride. He's one of the most prideful characters of all time.
Yeah.
Goku's honor allows him to bury Vegeta and then go to fight Frieza. And then Krillin dies and Goku takes it to a different level. Now we're seeing Goku get serious to almost scary level. to the sense where he's yelling at Gohan. This is a new, different version of Goku that we've never seen before.
Right. He
turning
activated.
Super Saiyan, scary, bloodshot eyes, talking about how he's the hope of the universe, how he needs to beat Frieza because there's no one else out there who could. That joint is flames.
In fact,
Because it's like when you see different characters turn up in a way that they usually wouldn't. It's like when Aang goes into the Avatar state,
yeah,
and like his head snaps and he's destroying stuff, and you're like, that's not Aang in that moment.
yeah.
That wasn't Goku, and I could see why people would say that it was scary. I've heard stories of people saying, watching for the first time, they're like, they would always show the credits to the show, and you would see Super Saiyan, like his shadow standing there at the end of the credits, and people are like, who is that dude? He looks so cool. And then Goku becomes him, and he's a totally different person. People being almost scared, like, do we want this for Goku? Is this something we want for him? And then Goku taking that power and controlling it and beating Frieza, but still remaining true to himself. I'm not going to murder you in cold blood. You're beaten. But then once he threw that Destructo disc at him and he dodged it and weaved it back to him, and it got Frieza himself, Goku was like,
that's on you,
bro.
my G. I was going to let you rock. I was going to let you ride.
It's a great saga for character study, minus all the like Ginyu Force dancing around. There's trauma there for Gohan too, because you go look at the Great Saiyan Man and you look at the Ginyu Force, Gohan has trauma from this age that he needs to work out.
Absolute, bro. He saw something he's trying to replicate. He's trying to get the feel of 100%, bro. The spirit bomb, bro. Give me some of your energy. Like, come on,
Right.
bro. That's a crazy arc. I mean, so you're coming to the Frieza section, and there's a lot of great things in there, and yet you're still telling me that the Android Cell arc is your favorite arc, though?
Yes. For a few reasons. Number one, Trunks, the greatest anime intro of all time. There's been discussion on Twitter over the last few days about who's had the greatest anime intro of all time. It's Trunks. Trunks showed up, and within 4 seconds, real time, I know it's like 5-6 episodes, murked the villain of the entire last saga and his daddy and his whole force.
Yeah, that's true.
With nothing but a sword, mysterious character, fly motherfucker out of the blue, right?
The jacket, bro.
Bro. And in real time, like I said, in the newest Dragon Ball property that we've gotten that's canon, like visual wise, there's a scene that showcases what it all looked like in real time. And it's 4 seconds, maybe even 3, from the bing, 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 boom, explosion, bang, King Cole. It was beautiful to see it. Trunks is a big reason, I'll admit it, but so is Cell. This idea of a villain that's just striving for perfection amongst all these characters that we've already come to know. Vegeta always wants this, which is why when Vegeta lets him go to do what he's got to do, you're like, Vegeta, I hate that you're being your character right now. But Cell is made up of all of these characters. Cell is a combination. So he's got Vegeta's pride. Goku's just, I want the strongest fight. Yeah, I want to be, if we're going to do this in a public tournament, like the idea of perfection, the stages to his character just transforming into something different, coming out as a bug. I love his first form and his last form. They're both crazy.
Yeah.
Second form is whatever. The time traveling stuff, the concept of future, the mystery of it all. Trunks coming. Oh, who is he? Oh,
before it became cheesy. Before time travel became cheesy, they was cooking. They was cooking on that concept, man.
Whose kid is he? He's coming to warn us of this? Oh, you're telling me that, oh, Goku's out right now? Oh, but we got another Super Saiyan, so we know it's possible. Okay, so now there's another mystery there. Oh, word? It just kept coming, bro. It just kept coming. And now behind the scenes, if we want to really talk about it, bro, Androids 19 and 20 pop up on the scenes, because this is about Akira Toriyama also. So I got to talk about the things that I love about him. Android 19 and 20 pull up. If you remember the fat clown and the old man.
Yeah.
Halfway through that arc, he was writing. He was like, I don't know if I like the designs. Scrap them. 18 and 17 pop up on the scene. He's like, we need another one. 16 comes into the ring. And now he's like, but do we really want these to be the final villains of this arc? So then he creates Cell. So it's mid-writing where he decides we need to throw something else in there. It's no planned out shit. It's fuck it, let's just add somebody new and see how it pans out.
Crazy, bro.
And I kind of like that. I like that because it was done
unique.
mostly
It'll never
bro.
happen. It'll probably never happen again, bro. If we're really honest. It's not.
It
set
might
up
be
like
happening
that.
right now. It might be happening right now with one property out there, and there's a lot of hate for it right now. The way we consume stuff is different, but the way we accept it might never happen again.
Yeah.
Might never happen again. So all this to say, I also really enjoy this arc because it forces upon you. Goku can't be the hero here. He's pushing his son to do something greater, and it just Gohan. You say he's the GOAT. Why are you saying he's the GOAT? Because of this, right?
Yep.
Because of the way they take this character, and everyone's telling him in this arc, either yo, you can't do it, and Goku's like, nah, I believe in my kid. And then Android 16 to come in the end and say, you need to do this. It isn't even about what you can and can't do now. You need to. Because if you don't, everyone is gonna die. Everyone. No funny shit. You need to do it. 16 dies. And Gohan sees red. And he explodes. And he turns up. He does what he needs to do. Then he becomes a little prideful because of the Saiyan pride. And he learns. He gets his punishment for that pride.
Yeah.
He becomes Vegeta for a moment. Doesn't work. So he's like, all right, let me be that guy. And then that's the end of the saga, bro. Gohan gets his big moment that they've been trying to recreate with him ever since, and I cannot stand it. You got anything you want to say about this Android arc before I go into the final arc of Z? Z is the big talk here, to be honest.
Nah, bro. The arc is hard. You know what I mean? It's just filled with a lot of great characters, great moments. And I think when it comes to strength and power, what it means to be strong in this universe is very much defined in this particular arc. So I can respect that. You know, Frieza, the arc of the Saiyan and Frieza arc of like, you know, who's the villain in Dragon Ball Z? If you were like talking to somebody and you gave them the trivia question of who's the major villain, people are going to probably say Frieza. You know what I mean?
Frieza is that guy. He's that guy.
100%. But at the same time, the nitty gritty storylines of this and then that Buu arc, I think the Buu arc is probably my favorite, if I'm honest with you, me personally.
Okay.
For what I can remember and play and experience and what it means for the
a lot of games were based off of the Buu arc on the like DS and Game Boys. I get that. And that's because I think there's a lot of characters that you can play as in that arc.
100%.
Here's what I'll say about the Buu arc. The beginning first 7 or 8 episodes of that arc are my favorite piece of Dragon Ball ever. Everything from Gohan goes to high school to the tournament when they all decide to leave the tournament after Gohan was stabbed is my favorite stuff. To see how this character 7 years later, after he's destroyed this world villain, just going to high school, chilling with his friends, trying to get the girl, you know. And you know this about me. I like the coming of age stories. And I like seeing Gohan be Gohan for a change versus what everybody wanted Gohan to be. I know Chi-Chi wants him to be like this, but it was nice to see somebody say, this is what I want for myself.
Sure.
And then it gets taken away from me. The arc is cool. It's the longest of the 4. Right. It's almost the entire 3% of the show. But there's a lot of
Dragon Ball.
It's a lot of fun. Exactly. There's a lot of fun here. Buu is just another case of changing because I don't like where this is going. We got to change it again, and we got to change it again, and we got to change it again, and we got to change it again.
You can feel it, but what I think I liked about that concept was with each change brought out a different part of the gang that needed to rise to the occasion. You know what I mean? When we get Gotenks, like it's just so fire. You know what I mean? The Kid Buu fight with the ghosts. And it's just, there's certain pieces to rising up to the occasion and the legacy of, you know, these kids following in the footsteps. And then when you connect it all the way back to Dragon Ball, where you saw Kid Goku and how laid back he was, it kind of is a statement toward the changes and the things that these kids had to grow up and fight So then there's this battle between the seriousness of the threat and the innocence of these characters that live throughout the entirety of the storyline. And this is just Toriyama's thing. He's just really, so I know later on we're going to talk about Daima, and that's a piece that I'm looking for. If I'm honest, I need that tension to exist. I don't want it to be so freaking, a lot of this newer stuff I've seen and heard of from Dragon Ball is very, but there's this heart between the balance of the innocent human story combined with the great power that these characters all have. And I think that's also why I like the Boo arc very much. I felt like Boo was a blank character. Like Boo is mad, like a mirror character. Like Cell was too, with what you're saying in terms of being an embodiment of everyone around them. But Boo very much felt like you were just turning us into chocolate bars. Like, why is the threat so heavy? It's so heavy because this is an opportunity for us to see the things that need to grow, die, and expand in these characters individually. And I love the arc for that reason. It does make good video game too. It does. I just remember kicking ass as Kid Boo in these games. All right, so see me as Kid Boo, bro. Come get this work. You know what I mean?
Do you remember the Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 demo where there were only 3 or 4 playable characters and Boo was one of them?
Yeah, like, I remember that. Good times.
Yeah, you know, I enjoy this arc. I do. It's probably my least favorite if we're looking at full grand scheme, but that's because of how many changes happen midway. And they're like, all right, we're pushing for now Goten and Trunks to kind of be mains. Vegeta's back to his beef with Goku, which is cool. But at the end of the day, I think if I remember correctly, it was Akira wanted Gohan. The fans wanted Goku, which is why Goku has to come back at the end of the day. They try to make Gohan relive his great moment from the Cell Saga with Boo, Super Boo. It doesn't work because he's not a 12-year-old boy anymore. He's a grown-ass man. And then at the end of the day, bro, Spirit Bomb, Goku wins because of the power of the world.
Right.
Mr. Satan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
You know, everybody giving Goku his energy. Give me your energy, bro. We always say that, too.
Energy.
And then the last 3 episodes are all fun and games and a nice epilogue that, of course, always have to not be the final thing, which is where we get canon-wise to Dragon Ball Super. Now, I'm pretty sure you haven't seen much of Super.
Nah, I haven't. I got homies that have, and they say it's good.
Yeah. So Super did something interesting that I think you're going to find interesting. For me, this is my analysis of Super. It's nothing what they've claimed that they tried to do. So this is all me right here. It's a middle ground of Ball and Z. Elements of Ball and the openness, the haha funny stuff, you know, the mood of Ball mixed with the mood of Z. They introduced this bigger world concept, so they can't just take that back. So they go bigger. They expand their universe here, but then they also try to not make it as serious the way you were kind of saying. They try to make it a little bit lighthearted because Dragon Ball is a lot more lighthearted than Z. So we have episodes where Goku's just trying to be a farmer and a good dad. But then we also have episodes where the universe is at stake. They have to fight some grand force. The characters introduced in Super, like Beerus and Whis, are iconic now. You can't take Beerus away. He's new. Right. Remember, this is a series that has now been out for 40 years, and Beerus has only been around for about 10.
Right.
And he's iconic. I
saw that. I went to the movies to see that flick.
Damn, I didn't go to the movies to see that one.
I saw that flick. I went to see it. It was a special showing over in White Plains, New York. And me and homie Steve, we went and we copped tickets and we went to go see it. And I had no connection. Again, bro, couldn't sit here and say I watched all of Z or even tapped in on Super or anything like that. And yet to be there and watch it go down, you know what I mean? So I hear you 100%. It's just so iconic to see them still have room to build new characters in the last decade. It's crazy.
And it was Akira Toriyama coming back and saying, I don't want the last thing y'all remember of Dragon Ball to be GT. and Dragon Ball Evolution, I need to come back and do something, which is what Super is. Super is him coming back and saying, here's some stuff, about 120, 130 episodes of some stuff from me. Different arcs that are now up there in my favorites, concepts of a multiverse in Dragon Ball now. I don't know if you know any of this.
I heard about that, yes.
Multiverse and the concept of a one true being being in charge of all the multiverse. And of course, Goku pulls up to this and they're like, Goku, you need to treat him with respect. And he's like, yo, what's up? It's me, Goku. And this universal being like, yo, why I kind of fuck with you? Because you treating me like some dude, not some royal figure. I like you. Could we be friends? And he's like, yeah, sure. Let's be friends. And he's like, all right, cool. Let's do it. And now he's best friends with the strongest character, where there's a whole arc in this show, bro. Spoiler alert, where they're going up against enemies and they lose. Like, this enemy was like, well, I'm gonna wipe out your multiverse now. And then Goku's like, give me 1 second. Picks up this thing. He's like, bing, bing. Yo, I need help. And the almighty being pulls up. He's like, what's going on here? He's like, yo, this isn't okay. He's trying to take over the multiverse. He goes, word? And that's the end of the arc. He's like, all right, thanks. Bye. And he just dips. And that's it. Like,
that's crazy.
Goku got clout, to say the least, bro. But Super is mad fun because there's some great looking fights. There's some terrible looking fights. Some of the worst animation I've ever seen in my life comes from the first 2 seasons of Super. You know, it was released right around that Korra time too, and the season 2, and there was some stuff going on, but Super has earned its place in my heart. It's earned its place in a lot of people's hearts. We're waiting for it to come back. Actually, it's not technically over. It's been on a 6-year hiatus at this point. But it's more beloved than GT. Now, I know you know some things about GT.
I don't know as much about GT as I did about Super. So what's up with GT? What even is that?
64 episodes. After Dragon Ball Z, Goku coming back. He gets wished into being a kid. Now, I'm very specific about what I'm telling you here because it sounds like something we're supposed to be getting later, right?
Yeah, it does.
Goku gets turned into a kid. And he is tasked with traveling around the universe to find Dragon Balls to undo this wish because his Dragon Balls aren't strong enough. And he goes with Trunks and his granddaughter Pan, who is kind of really annoying because now she's older than Goku because Goku's a 12-year-old boy again. And it's very fun and wacky. And I don't know.
Yeah, I have seen this. Yeah, this is from Super Saiyan 97. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have things like Vegeta and his mustache not being a fighter. Why is that?
I don't understand.
You have Goku, like I said, being this little boy doing dance routines with Pan and Trunks just to get a Dragon Ball back, and there's some campiness there, but it was decanonized. For a reason. Akira Toriyama said that don't look at that. I don't like that. But I think it's fun for people to go watch and experience if they need like a Dragon Ball fix and they don't want to rewatch anything new. And same with most of the movies, bro. You know, there's characters that are beloved that aren't never been canon. Cooler. You know about Cooler. I know you know, right?
Of course.
Broly for the longest was not a canon character.
Mm-hmm.
So stupid character, right? But Akira Toriyama said, there's something there about him that I'm going to actually make him canon. And then they made a movie in 2022 where he actually got to put his take on Broly. All 3D CG animated movie for I believe. Could be lying to you. But those are movies from Dragon Ball Z era. Those are also kind of like, if you want to have fun, go watch that, sure. But if not, whatever. One movie that I do want to talk to you about, bro, that you need to watch is the Dragon Ball Broly movie. That's not the CG one. The superhero one is the CG one. The Broly one is animated regularly. I forgot.
2022.
No, that one is from 2018. I got a little bit mixed up in this conversation. I'm blind. Remember that? I've got my stuff over here on this screen and things get blurry. The Dragon Ball Broly movie is from 2018, fully animated.
Yeah, I see.
It is glorious. You need to watch it.
It's on Crunchyroll, so I'm gonna watch that for sure.
You should watch it. It is a bit of a retcon. There's a lot of retcons when it comes to the Dragon Ball universe. It changes Goku's origin a little bit, Vegeta's origin, Broly's origin. It's like Man of Steel, low key, bro. The first half of that movie is on Planet Vegeta.
No, that's hard.
Yeah, and funny thing about that movie, actually, just for me and IV, no one else will probably care. You know, John Bellion is in that movie for like 2 seconds, bro.
I heard about this actually, and this is how the relationship started to form for him to have Piccolo hop on Adult Swim.
Glory Sound Prep, bro. Yeah. The Glory Sound Prep.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. This movie is glorious. I wish I saw it in theaters. I didn't know it was in theaters. This was during my senior year of high school, and I missed it completely. So I caught it when it came out digitally, and it's glorious. The best animation from this. I need a show in this animation style, if I'm being honest with you. I recommend you watch this and go watch Dragon Ball Superhero if you love Gohan and Piccolo,
when you say
bro.
Animation style, though, what do you mean by that? Like,
it's. I feel like you would understand if you just watch it. Like, you know, maybe it's because of a movie budget, but they animated the fights differently. There's some sections of the fight sequences that go first person. So you start to see what the fights look like from the view of the characters. Like Broly is chasing Goku through an ice cavern, and you're just seeing Broly's hands go bing, 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 bing. And Goku it's stuff like that is what I'm saying. Like, but even like transformations, like one of Goku's transformations in this movie is just so flames. Just give it a chance, bro. Give it a chance.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm already looking at clips right here, and I'm like, oh, bet this is what I'm gonna watch, because right now I got a couple animes I'm trying to catch up on, and so
yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, you do. You know, you got to be ready for this new show, bro. You got to be ready for this new show. But before we talk about this new show, bro, the last movie that needs to be discussed is Dragon Ball Evolution. Have you seen this?
No, sir.
You don't need to.
Bet I won't.
You don't need to. You don't need to see this. I feel bad. The main actor, he wrote when Akira Toriyama passed away, he said, "Rest in peace. I'm sorry we fucked up that movie." Like,
yeah, I saw this on Twitter. This is the live action one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll never see that.
They casted a white man to play Goku going to high school, bro. What is that?
Yeah, I remember seeing clips of this and it getting cooked when it came out. What year was that? That was 2009, I think.
It's down there with The Last Airbender, bro.
Terrible, bro.
Look, you know, this is just really you and me talking about these franchises and our experience with them. And, you know, if people have heard this and haven't watched the shows, maybe they'll be interested, bro, because the purpose of all of these shows, you know, it's a journey. It's a show about a colorful cast of characters, like you said, a tribe working together and just doing, sometimes saving the world and sometimes playing baseball games with each other. Like, it's meant to be a feel-good, fun show.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like I said, we've been waiting for Super to come back for 6 years. And so last year when it was announced that we would be getting a new Dragon Ball show in 2024, a lot of people assumed that it was going to be Dragon Ball Super coming back, but it wasn't. It is now Dragon Ball Daima. And it's already interesting to see how the shift, how the fans have shifted for this show.
What do you mean by that?
When it was announced, what is this? This isn't Super. Are we doing GT again? Why is everybody a kid? Oh man, what kind of crap is this? We don't want this. But now it's the last piece of Dragon Ball that Akira Toriyama is giving to us. In terms of, he was in charge of this, right? He had a hand in this. He expressed excitement about this. And now he's no longer here. Now people are like, but it looks great. And this and that, and be open for it. I'm like, y'all are funny.
How it is, bro. Dudes got to fall out the sky before they get any level of respect for it.
So I wasn't expecting this show, but I know that if Akira Toriyama wanted to tell its story and it's not from a manga, if this is where he's chosen to first express this, something's got to be there, right? There's got to be a reason why he's chosen that this is the style we will experience this story in first.
Yeah, he must think this is the medium and the way to do it, you know? And so
that's exciting. That is exciting to me. So
Come
what
on,
are
man.
you looking forward to when it comes to Daima? As someone who you're saying, oh, I haven't been able to catch all of these pieces or this movie or that movie, you stated that this CUZZO-OP podcast of ours forces you to consume media in a different way.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to here?
I think for me, bro, it's what I said earlier. I want to see some balance between that joyfulness, that light, that innocence, that purity, that heart, but then also the grit, the power, the punch, the feel. I want the animation style. This is going to be the most updated animation we get for the Dragon Ball Z universe. Like, I want to see them maximize on that, and just because they're kids doesn't mean they can't do that. I'm going to be down to tap in, but I'm not going to be one track minded and want it to feel like Z immediately out the gate. But if you can continue to pull these things back from my mind and remind me of why this is something that is a part of my childhood, whether I want it to be or not, which is what it feels like they're pulling on the heartstrings of, even with their initial teaser trailer, as they went year by year showing this happened, that happened, remember this, remember that, look at this, look at that. Now next, we doing this. It's like, it doesn't feel like it's going to be completely left field, random spin-off vibe. It doesn't feel like that already, and I don't want it to feel like that. My expectation is for it to feel like a bow on top of everything that's happened. We talked about legacy, right? Toriyama's legacy speaks for itself. All of these creators of all these other animes are part of the big three. They recognize him as grandfather GOAT. We wouldn't have this without you doing this and changing our lives as kids ourselves. I want something that speaks to that level of legacy. So don't try to do so much that you contort and twist things into something where it's like, give us something that makes us go, man, the heart of this creator and this whole storyline is in this. And I'm so glad I got to witness this here in fall of 2024. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, for me, it's really just, what story does he want to tell? Because he's always vocal about, that's not what I would have done. When someone takes care of his child, he doesn't baby and say, they no, that's not my child. GTA ain't my child. Evolution ain't my child. Those Dragon Ball movies ain't my child. In fact, gimme Broly. I'm making him my child now, and I'm doing it better than you did. Because that's what he did with Broly. So here I'm just looking forward to seeing why he chose this to be the way we see the story. Because I feel like it's been very rare for him to create a story and not make it the manga first.
Sure.
I know that Broly, I believe, didn't have a manga arc. He just made that movie.
Sure.
And I believe same with Superhero. But this is a show. Like, this is a full-blown, like, this 40-year anniversary. Here you go.
40 years.
And
crazy.
So, Dragon Ball will be around. Let's see if it gets to 50, right? And if it itself doesn't get to 50, the fans will carry it there. Whatever is from past, present, future, whatever, it's going 50. It's going 60.
I mean, we got this
70.
coming out. We got the game coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's here. They're here, and that's the thing about CUZZO-OP, right? We talk about movies, TV, video games. This is one of the rare storylines, IPs that touches all three and are known for grand things in all three. That's kind of crazy.
Exactly.
It's a trifecta. It's a trifecta show, movie, game.
If we did music, it'd be there too, bro.
Facts.
Because the music on this show goes dummy. No matter what version you're listening to, whether you be listening to the Japanese version or the Falconer English tracks.
Word.
Now, if I publicly state which one I prefer, I might get dragged through the mud.
Yeah, nah, don't do that to yourself. It's not
but
even
I'm going to
necessary.
do it, bro. I'm going to do it. I think I like the Japanese tracks the most, bro. Bruce Falconer, he makes some epic stuff, but I feel like the Japanese tracks, they try and match what's happening in the moment a little bit better. Goku turning into a Super Saiyan on the Falconer track is epic. But the Japanese, like I said, the Japanese track, it makes you kind of feel a little bit scared. Like, do we want this for our character? It's also old-timey feeling, there's dubs that are old, new, vintage. Cast members, Sean Schemmel, Christopher Sabat, Kyle Herbert, they all been around for almost as long as this. They've all done their voices. They're all legacy. They're known, right? The voice acting departments kill it, music kill it, animation for the most part kill it. There's a lot of love here. I think that's the one thing you could say about this project. In a lot of cases, minus evolution and some other areas, there's love. There's love. Dragon Ball Z Abridged, one of my favorite things ever, is just because some fans love the project so much that they wanted to make their own version of it for fun.
That's so far.
So there's a legacy here, bro. There's a legacy. People will forever be trying to transform into a Super Saiyan. People will forever incorporate it into their rap lyrics. People will forever be chasing after Goku, bro. Goku.
Yeah. They always recognize the bluing orange, bro. Forever.
That low key, Goku's the reason why orange is my favorite color. Low key, bro. The gi.
We know.
Who's we?
It's the whole gang. Everybody knows that the reason why the whole fam knows you love orange because of Dragon Ball Z, bro.
That's not true. That ain't true.
Well, your cousins know. The ones that were up enough. Aiza and I know for sure. If we call her up right now, ask her why orange is your favorite color, she would say Goku.
I doubt that.
Don't make me call her right now.
I doubt that.
It's 12:30 a.m. She might have work. We're going to have to call offline.
We'll post in the comment section on YouTube whether or not she knew or not.
We'll take it offline. I also want to say when it comes to Toriyama, RIP legacy, he does have other IPs outside of Dragon Ball that, exist. Sandland just had its demo released on PlayStation that you can download. I don't know if it's on Xbox. It's just interesting, man. It's very interesting to see the heart of this guy and everything he makes. So highly recommend playing the demo. I've been playing it. I've been having some fun with it. The Beelzebub storyline that they got going on there in that world is very interesting. But yeah, man, do you have any last couple lines that you want to say here to sum up for somebody who is contemplating getting into Dragon Ball? What would you say? Where would you start and what would you say expectations should be?
I mean, what medium is right for you? If you want to say that video games are your place, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, then maybe you'll be able to watch the show, because it's modern. If you want modern animation, Dragon Ball Kai. The voices are updated. The music is updated. If you're someone like me who prefers, when I started watching Dragon Ball, I wasn't this way. I've consumed media a lot differently in my adult years. I prefer to start at the beginning, no matter what it is. It could be one of the worst video games of all time leading into one of the best. I'm going to play the worst one first if it came first. Watch Dragon Ball. If you're someone who likes to start at the start, watch Dragon Ball. If you like the action and crazy fights and stuff, start at Z. Either or, you won't get it wrong. It's very easy to get into. And once you get into it, you might have ways to get around to other areas. I need to go find more Akira Toriyama stuff just to experience the artistry that he gave, right? Because it's crazy to think that he had this 40-year running long series and also has other stuff that he's done.
Yeah.
And, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
He's touched hearts of so many around the world that forever, bro, it will forever be known.
That's right.
He's a legend. He's the sensei of everything. So,
yeah. R.I.P. to him. Rest in peace. Seriously, it's insane to consider the mark that you've made as a person on so many people from so many places all around the world. And it's cool to see how Dragon Ball continues to live in spirit through us and in manifestation of these new entities. This IP is just continuing to expand. So let's get it to 50. Let's get it to 50, even if you're just talking about it in a mild sense. And even today, you taking a listen to this episode, you've played a role in that. So we thank you. We thank you for taking a listen to this episode of CUZZO-OP. We got new episodes coming out every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We ain't going nowhere. Stick around with us for the next month. We're going to be talking about Dune 2. We'll talk a little bit about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. We got video games, movies, TV. That you already know what it is, bro. When you listen to us at CUZZO-OP, we're going to have some conversations. There's some things you're going to hear from us. You know what it's going to be? You're going to have to hear from us. It's going to be two cousins, one podcast, and endless entertainment. Catch you soon.